A brawl is surely brewing. Now go.
Tras 7 años de desarrollo y muchos sacrificios por parte de sus creadores, Cuphead por fin pudo ver la luz el año pasado. Los hermanos Jared y Chad Moldenhauer estaban empezando con el juego desde sus casas, hasta que una llamada de Microsoft lo cambió todo. Pero no es la historia de los hermanos la que vamos a contaros hoy, sino la de una mujer que se enfrentó a un emocionante reto: dibujar todo el juego frame a frame mientras estaba embarazada y después cuidaba de su hijo.
Hello, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Maya Moldenhauer, and I am an executive producer and artist at Studio MDHR.
Maya Moldenhauer viene de trabajar en la banca durante toda su vida, pero de repente se involucró en algo totalmente diferente: la aventura de hacer un videojuego clásico en el que cada frame estuviera dibujado a mano. Así, Cuphead empezó a cobrar vida y Maya acabó siendo productora y artista, y en concreto se encargó ella sola del entintado de absolutamente todos los dibujos del juego. En su Instagram, Maya se define como esposa y madre orgullosa, y eso hizo que el desafío para ella fuera aún mayor, porque no quiso renunciar a esa parte de su vida: formar una familia. Hemos tenido la oportunidad de charlar con ella en GameLab para que nos cuente su historia, y lo primero que le preguntamos fue cómo Cuphead impactó en su vida.
It definitely impacted it. I would love to be like, no, it didn't impact it, it was fine. But it did. We didn't have, I think I alluded to this earlier in saying, you know, when you're putting 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're giving it your all, there were sacrifices made. There were some friends lost because you weren't there to answer every text, you couldn't go to every party, and that's okay. You know, we were in a different phase of our life and people grow apart. But the people who really matter, like your family or very close friends, will always be there, and they were super supportive. When I couldn't make it to a party, they would bring me the leftovers to the house. They would send me pictures, they'd FaceTime me while we were doing that. And so the people that matter will stick around, they will stay there. Another thing that was very important for me was I wanted to start a family. And I didn't want to wait. You know, with Cuphead, because given the scope that it was, I was like, I don't want to wait till I'm like 50 years old. When I was working at the bank, I had a very different story in my head of how I was going to have a family. I thought, we're gonna have a family, I'm not gonna go back to work, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom, I'm gonna be dedicated to these kids until they start going to school at age 5. And that was it. That changed, everything changed. So one advice that I give to people is saying, like, don't stick to how you think it's gonna play out, go with the flow. So this opportunity presented itself where Chad was like, let's do this, let's sell the company, let's go full-time on this crazy little game that I have in the back of my head. And I wasn't willing to make a sacrifice in not starting a family, so I was like, okay, at the same time we're starting a family. And so it was challenging, it was difficult, but you take things day by day. You don't think of the big picture. You don't think of, oh my God, we have to finish Cuphead and I have to raise a future doctor. Do you know what I mean? You think, I gotta feed a kid today, I have to put them to sleep today, and I have to keep them alive. And I'm very type A personality in that I'm very organized, or was. You have to give some of that up, but at the same time, it was an asset. So you get as organized as you can the night before for the next day. And when things don't go as planned, you just have to throw caution to the wind and say, you know what? That didn't go as well as I thought it was going to go, but just keep going forward. You just have to keep going forward. Don't get stuck on something that didn't work out. And yeah, keep pedaling forward. So I actually didn't get involved in the company right from the inception. I was halfway through my maternity leave, and after having kids is when I realized, like, I want to be a role model for my children. I want my daughter, we had a daughter first, I want my daughter to know that she is going to be able to offer a lot to whatever field she chooses to go into, and I'm going to be a role model for that. So it was important for me to do it myself rather than just tell her, go get a job one day, is to show her how to do it. It's the reason why I do things like this. You know, I'm typically a little bit more introverted. I like to kind of be at home at my drawing desk, but I do things like this in hopes of inspiring children, my own children one day and being like, hey, look, she did it. We just had a very supportive family, so there were days where my mom would be at home all day long. We were lucky enough to have a caregiver come to the house, so if I heard a baby crying, I could run upstairs and take that break. Also, we allowed ourselves the time. We were delayed for reasons like that too. Sometimes you can't project how long a boss is going to take to animate. You also can't project how often your kid is going to get sick. We took the time when we needed it away from the game, but we also knew when we had to tell our personal life, no, I can't come to this party, I can't come to this birthday for sake of making this game. So again, yeah, it was a lot of push and pull and knowing what was important in that moment in time. Some days it was challenging. Some days, you know, when you have a child that's very, very sick, work fully took a back seat. And then there are other days when you have a whiny child and you're like, nah, you're okay. Work takes the front seat. So it's just that balance. But there were never times that we would sacrifice the quality of the game because we had a personal life. Conversely, there was never times that we would sacrifice like nurturing and enriching a family for this game. It was really just like a balance, and we pushed and took whenever we could. So I thought I would be a totally different person than I am today. I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, didn't care about, you know, my career or things like that. Family was going to be my focus. And not to say it's not. It 100% is my focus still. I love this game, but family comes first. Now, you know, that being said, your life goes like that, right? After having kids, it became really important to me to be able to work and be my own person still, and not, you know, just be in this one role. I needed multiple roles in my life to feel enriched, and that is what worked for me. A mother that chooses not to work and stay at home, I 100% support that decision because I was there at one point. Cuphead it's like a child to me. It's like a sibling to them. The merchandise they see around the house and stuff like that, they're always just like, oh, that's Cuphead, oh, that's Miss Chalice. And they know the characters are only 2 and 4, so that's exciting where I'm like, yes, you know them. But that day where they can actually play it and challenge themselves with it, I'm really looking forward to that. I have no idea how they're going to respond to it. Maybe they'll think we're cool, I'm hoping. Maybe that'll save us a little bit of those adolescent years, but I think it's going to be probably less exciting than I want it to be. I think they might just feel like, Mom, this game is not as good as you say it is. But I am very excited for that day. I call Cuphead my firstborn son. It is very personal to us. We invested a lot into it. We poured our hearts into this game. A lot of sacrifices, and so it's hard not to consider it part of the family, like this fictional cartoon character. Like, it seems crazy, I sound crazy, but it really is. It's part of, it's shaped us who we are today, it's part of who we are, it's part of our legacy.
Do you think like maybe they could get inspired to make games too?
Hopefully, I would love that. We would love to be able to leave this company to our daughter and our son, and they take it to the next level. That would be amazing. But just like our families gave us the autonomy to do whatever we want, I'm going to support whatever they choose to do.
It's like the both of your kids playing Cuphead in co-op. It's like the 3 of your kids.
Yes,
playing
exactly.
together.
Oh yeah, that's true. Now with Chalice. No, you're right.